Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of It's Time to Heal. And today we're with a special guest, Alex.
Hi guys.
So, do you want to tell them who you are?
Hi guys, I'm Alex. I also have my own show, the TBH show. Check it out. She's my cousin or whatever, sister or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, so today we are going to be speaking on imposter syndrome and just how it affects people on a day-to-day basis, and also kind of touch on where it kind of stems from, and yeah, just how to tackle it. But before we get into it, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
I hope you're good with riddles.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
I think you're good.
I'm not too great. But yeah, so the first riddle is, and these are very simple riddles, so
You're basically
should
trying to
get
say
it.
if I don't get it, I'm dumb.
I didn't say that, but yeah. So the first riddle is, what has keys but can't open locks?
What has keys but can't open locks?
This is a good one.
What has keys?
Think about it. What has keys?
A keyboard or a piano.
You actually got it.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is, what gets wetter the more it dries?
Wetter the more it dries.
Oh, this is a good one.
Wetter the more it dries. Not paint.
No.
Sorry. What
This
gets
is a good
wetter
one.
the more it dries?
Mm-hmm.
Gas. Like if it starts to evaporate. No.
No.
It starts to condense.
No.
No.
You plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
It's a towel. The more it dries. So when you're drying yourself,
That's a stupid one.
it
Whoever
gets
made
wet.
that is a dumb.
But no,
Sorry
that's
to
actually
say.
kind of smart. Okay. The other one is, what has a head and a tail but no body?
A head and a tail but no body.
That's a good one.
A head
I just saw the
and
answer.
a tail but no body.
What has... Oh, you guys actually know.
A coin.
Guys, you cheated.
Ding ding ding.
Okay. The other one is, what comes once in 1 minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?
Once in 1 minute, twice in a moment, once in 1 minute, twice
This is
in a moment, but never in a million years.
In 1,000 years.
Oh, never in 1,000 years. Once in 1 minute.
Twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years.
M.
How did you know?
I just got it. Yeah. And I didn't even... Yeah.
Are you sure you haven't heard that before?
I swear I haven't.
Okay. And the last one is, what can you catch but cannot throw?
What can you catch but not throw? What can you catch but not throw? What can you catch but not throw?
Think about it.
What can you catch?
What can you catch?
A cold. The flu.
You've definitely read this before.
I swear I didn't read that one. That one, it just came to me. I haven't read that one before. No.
What can you catch but cannot throw?
Maybe I should do this
to myself next time. So that's the end of the game section. She wasn't actually that bad.
I was actually quite
good. I'm sure she's read this somewhere, so...
I don't go around reading riddles.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the main, topic and just dig a little deeper into everything. If someone could describe you, what do you think they will say?
If somebody could describe me, like my personality?
Just anything.
They'll say I'm cute.
Thank you. Anything else?
They'll probably say I'm...
Okay, let's say someone, like an old friend, so someone that you're not friends with anymore now.
Okay, so someone from my past.
Yeah.
Someone from my past might say that I'm not sure. I think they would still I think themselves caring. I think they would say that I could be sensitive. I think they would say that I was always like down for the ride.
And someone who's currently in your life, do you think they would describe you?
The same.
So you don't think there's any changes in terms of how they would describe you?
I think the words that I've given for the people from the past would be the same, but maybe someone in my life now would have additions to those words, like to those character traits.
Can you give us one?
An addition, maybe like God-fearing, for example.
Yep. With myself, if someone from my past could describe me, they would probably say...
Do you want me to tell you what they'll probably say?
Okay, go on, you can tell me. And I'll see if I agree or disagree.
Okay. Someone from your past. I think they'll probably say you do you want me to be like very raw?
That's what it's about.
I'm very honest. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they would say you were a lover girl.
Okay.
I think someone from your past say you were a lover girl. I think they would say you were reserved.
Oh, I heard that all the time.
Reserved.
Yeah.
And I think they would say you were... You might have to help me out with the last one.
I was gonna say argumentative.
Okay, maybe.
When I am in the midst of an argument, I would go back and forth. I think now don't really put that much energy into it. But back then, I had all the time in the world. Yeah, and I think someone from my present would say, I guess I'm loving, patient, and just a girl. I'm joking. Sweet. Yeah. Nice things.
Thank you, Vivian.
Okay. Now the other question is, if you could describe yourself, what would you say?
Like just one word.
Yeah, you can say one word.
I would say empathetic. Like I'm a big empath.
What do I say for myself? One word. Gosh, this is hard. If I could describe myself, I would say loving. I think I love hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. This topic is all about imposter syndrome. There's a definition to imposter syndrome, but what is, or how would you interpret someone saying they have imposter syndrome? What does that mean to you?
Do you know what? So automatically, I think I thought to myself, you know, imposter syndrome is more so when who you really are is locked and hidden inside, maybe whether it's trauma, false identity, anxiety, etc. But before I left the house, I talked to my mum, and she was asking me like, oh, like, what's this episode going to be about? And I was like, oh, imposter syndrome. She asked me like, oh, what is that? So when I said it to her, she was like, that doesn't sound like imposter syndrome.
What does she think imposter syndrome is?
She felt like imposter syndrome is more like when somebody, so the opposite, like when someone is an imposter. So like when someone is trying to be somebody that they're not. So for example, I think me personally, I automatically see it as when you're trying to be who you should be, like who God or whoever says you are. But my mum was like, but imposter sounds like somebody acting like.
But technically,
it's the same thing.
It's still the same thing because
it's the same essence
out of the character
that you were made to be,
and the design that you were actually designed to be. So you're acting like someone you're not. So for example, if you're someone who's called to speaking, who's called to be bold, etc., and you're very timid, you know, you don't like speaking, etc., that's not how you were designed. But because of your surroundings, environments, and other things that could have contributed to it, you think that's who you are and you're acting like that. But just to get an actual definition, so imposter syndrome is the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. I think that's one definition.
Okay.
That's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
So I guess feeling like you're not good enough. Like even though you
You
can
got to where
see,
you wanted to be at.
yeah, you
It's
can't
still not enough for you.
accept that that's like
Or accept that maybe you
you're
deserve to be
doing.
there.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's another way. There's quite a few. Let me see another one. So another one says a phenomenon, so as an internal experience of intellectual phoniness. So like you're a phony type of thing.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's actually quite.
Not a phony.
And let me see if I can find another one. So another one is a character. So imposter syndrome is characterized by persistent self-doubt and a fear of being exposed as a fraud despite the evidence of success and competence. So common symptoms are feeling like a fake, downplaying accomplishments, difficulty accepting praise. Yes, I think it's also the inability or like the struggle to accept who you're actually meant to be or what skills you have or your success, etc. And just to go off of that, in what areas of your life would you say you've experienced imposter syndrome the most, and why?
I would say obviously the biggest one that stands out to me is like starting a show, even like now being in front of a camera. I think I definitely experienced a lot of imposter syndrome in that area. I think for me, growing up, like, you know, I hated cameras, I hated being in front of a camera, I hated taking pictures. So in my mind had been trained to believe that this kind of space is not somewhere that not even just that I didn't. You know, there's some people where it's like you desire to be there, but you're scared. But you know that low-key you want to be there. I wasn't even that. Like, I didn't even desire to be like in front of a camera.
So do you think there's anything that contributed into that mindset of like, for you to feel like that from early, like from a young age, is there something that, you know, made you feel like that or
I
contributed to that?
I think it's always starts off in the small, right? Like it always starts off with the small thoughts. So maybe it started off with me, the fear of being like judged. So from the fear of being judged, you decide to make yourself more private. So I was a very private person. People didn't really have insight into my life. People didn't, you know, I wouldn't post on my social medias and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think from there, it just escalates and escalates and escalates. So not only am I private, now I'm just unseen. Like you can't find me, you can't see me.
So you, like you said, you're in front of the camera, you're not behind the scenes. And I think with most people, they find that what they're most afraid of is actually where they're meant to be. So why do you feel like you've now even put yourself in this position where clearly from a young age, you never felt like you even wanted to be in front of the scene? So why have you now put yourself in this position where, for example, you have a show and you're just more, you know,
because
present?
that's what I'm supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? Like that's my calling. That's the space I was meant to be in. That's the space I was meant to occupy. And I think kind of like similar to what you said, the enemy works really hard to make sure that the space that you avoid the most is the space that you're meant to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. For myself, I would say I've experienced it the most. I'll say when it comes to speaking. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to get too deep, but that's literally why we're here.
Take it in.
But I think with speaking, I've always felt like almost like my voice was like insignificant, or I didn't have a room where like I needed to speak in, or just even feeling confident with speaking as a whole. Yeah, I think from a young age, and I think also that's why in my earlier childhood memories, I was like very reserved. I'll just keep myself to myself. I'd only really speak when I felt like I needed to, but I wasn't like the outgoing one. Like I was, when I'm comfortable, I would speak and stuff, but I wouldn't just outrightly start conversations, etc.
Yeah.
And just in terms of my personal calling as well, it's just weird because I feel like I'm literally meant to speak and share and etc. and share my story and etc. But yeah, it's a work in progress. But I think that's definitely where I feel like the imposter syndrome has played a
Apart.
huge part on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do I believe has contributed to that?
What things in your, whether it's in your childhood or your teenagers, what things do you think contributed to you believing that your voice was insignificant?
I think from what I can remember, I come from like a big family, and I don't know, I just felt like I just didn't need to speak. Like I would let everyone else take the lead, let everyone else do what they want to do, but I just felt like my opinions or like my voice wasn't necessary. I think sometimes when you come from like a big family or a family where a lot of people are outspoken, it's very easy to just withdraw.
Yeah, and get drowned out
and just silence yourself. And I think also that's why when it came to like even with dancing and posting stuff, I was happy to just anything or any content that didn't require me to speak. I was happy to just do that, post it, go. But I wouldn't, I guess, create content that required
you
me
to actually,
speak.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But everything else was like, yeah, I'm having fun. I didn't need to speak. So like no one really knew about me. They just knew of me. Yeah. So I spoke about family and how that has contributed to my own experience. How would you say that has contributed to your experience?
Me personally, I don't think our family contributed to like imposter syndrome for me. I think, let me actually have a think. No. Yeah, no, I don't think because like I said anyway, like I've never been someone, even with like our family, I would never be the one to like bring out a camera or jump in a picture or anything like that. So yeah, I don't think our family necessarily contributed to.
What about relationships? Was there any relationships that contributed to, I guess, your withdrawal from being in the scene? Or just being
maybe like my school relationships, like when I was in school, when I was growing up, I think like I kind of touched on earlier on, I was like quite judged a lot. And I think those early experiences with kind of, I guess, being judged and feeling like you have to have your walls up and everything, I just developed this thing of I don't let people in. I don't really let people get close to me. I don't really let people know about what's actually happening in my life like that.
So do you also think like physical appearance tied or played a part in it, or was it more so just the thought of being judged by like your character?
It's a weird one because I do think physical appearance did play a part, but at the same time, it's like I can't say that I necessarily went for a phase that I felt like I was like ugly. Do you get what I mean? But maybe more like comparison, more so played a part, kind of thing. So you know, like when it's just you in your own lane, everything's good. But you know, when you start putting yourself out there, then you have to start comparing yourself. Well, you don't have to, but I feel like that was how my mind operated. Start comparing myself to this girl, that girl, whatever. It just started to open doors in my mind. It's like, actually, I don't need to actually do all this. Like, I can just leave you out here.
Yeah. And like they say, comparison is literally the thief of joy.
Literally.
And I think also when you're like with young, vulnerable girls, they're very impressionable. They easily compare themselves to the girls around them. Like it was a thing. I know people say don't compare yourself, but it's extremely easy to just start comparing yourself. So I think that also definitely plays a part.
Yeah.
And feeling like other people deserve to be in a room, but you don't.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think as well, like linking back to
Mm,
family, maybe family played a part in the sense where I think like I was always used to being like the helping hand.
mm,
And I think sometimes without realizing, it can make you someone that's
mm,
okay with being in the background and like
mm,
used to being in the background.
mm,
So more so like I was used to kind of being the uplifter,
yeah.
the like cheerleader, the
Mm,
oh, when you're gonna get back to this, or let's do
mm,
this, or da 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 da
mm,
to support
mm,
someone else and what
yeah.
they're doing. But God forbid someone mention me,
Mm,
or and I guess in
mm,
a way, maybe kind of like what
mm,
you said about coming from a big family, where I was someone that was maybe more invested in everyone else's lives and what they were doing.
mm,
I think in a way, because I spoke so much about other people and
mm,
their lives and
mm,
talking to them, I think it actually took the attention off of me. So people
mm,
wouldn't really ask me what I'm gonna do, if that makes
mm.
sense. So it made me never have
Yeah.
to face myself.
So do you think maybe not intentionally, but subconsciously you were, I guess, avoiding even that space for people to be invested in what's going on with you?
Yeah,
So you
definitely.
like you're so involved in whatever's going on
Yeah, because I
with
think
them.
even going back to like the question about how would people from my past and present describe me, I
Mm,
forgot the main one. I'm a heart to heart queen.
mm,
So I think in that,
mm,
having hearts to hearts and vulnerable conversations is
mm,
kind of my element, but
mm,
it will always be about the other person.
yeah,
It's very rare that I'm having a heart to heart about myself.
yeah,
So I think subconsciously these things can be like
mm,
avoidance tactics.
yeah. And I also wanted to speak about relationships. So how do you think romantic relationships has contributed to just, I guess, experiencing imposter syndrome?
I think similarly to like family and friends, I guess you take the same habits into all your
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess even with my romantic relationships, it would always tend to be about the guy, like the
Mm-hmm.
guy, the guy, the guy.
Yeah.
Me making sure that the guy is okay,
Mm-hmm.
me making sure that the guy is good. And again, I guess that contributed to me being someone that was very okay with just being in the background and letting the guy have the limelight.
Do you think you've ever experienced a toxic relationship?
Definitely. What, romantic relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you think that also contributed?
Yeah, I think
And how?
it contributes to, again, I think it just all links into like in toxic relationships, I guess my issue was the feeling being addicted to the need of being needed.
Mm,
So it's almost like you equate your worth to what you can offer and what you
mm-hmm.
can give and how much
Mm-hmm.
you can come through for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So again, everything is about
Mm-hmm.
that other person.
Mm-hmm.
The whole relationship is centered about what I
Mm-hmm.
can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, it's like I'm not paying attention to myself. I'm not paying attention
Mm-hmm.
to maybe what I need. Or I
Mm-hmm.
remember for a long time, anyone asked me like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what do I think I would need in a guy? I mean, I can't even tell you because I didn't even understand what I needed. Like I
Mm-hmm.
had never actually sat down to think,
Yeah.
what
What
do
do
I
you want?
require? What do I want from
Yeah.
someone else?
I think with me, in terms of romantic relationships, I think
Mm.
I would be involved with like, so I was in toxic relationships and I would be involved with guys who it was literally their way or the highway,
Mm.
and they wanted to really assert themselves in this masculine way. I don't know, is it toxic
Fake,
masculinity?
fake masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and hold nothing against them because that everyone has their own personal growth. Like you're always a bad person or the bad guy in someone's story.
yeah,
But I think also with that feeling, I guess like not silence because I would argue back, but it still has an effect on
I
you.
think definitely one thing I did notice in like those toxic relationships is they always try to dim your light. Like they would want you to have to
Mm,
dim yourself so that they could feel more comfortable.
yeah. Like guys, someone's literally called me a backup dancer before. It's not even funny. At the time, I was like,
In shock.
I think I was confused, and then I was like upset because at the time I used to dance a lot, and mate, it used to go viral. Like, don't play with me.
Don't play.
But even them feeling like they needed to say that,
Like,
it's
target
just
that
weird.
specific area. And because, first of all, we wasn't even arguing about nothing to do with that.
But, oh wait, sorry. But meanwhile, the same one saying, oh, teach me how to do this, teach me. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think
But,
it's like, they were okay with you doing you until you'll get into a certain level. Like, don't think you're too big now. Don't think you're too... But really and truly, you should be with somebody that wants you to shine
and who
as
wants
bright
to uplift
as you can.
Yeah, so it was like very controlling situations. And I think when you're in this type of environments, like, you don't feel like you really have a space to even voice how you feel. You don't feel like you even deserve to feel anything, or you don't feel entitled to express yourself.
Well, it kind of links back to what you were saying about even like in our family, how you felt like your voice was insignificant, and then you kind of take those traits as well into
but I think
relationships.
If we're gonna get even deeper, I think it also intertwines with like when it comes to your identity, a lot of it also comes from, I guess, your experience in terms of family and like having a father.
100%.
So not even having that figure or having someone who would like, I guess, speak to who you're actually meant to be,
because you don't have like
you don't have that voice,
and it's almost like you don't have that initial blueprint. So it's like you have a blueprint, and then everything after that should be like a different a prototype.
So now when you're getting yourself into these relationships,
you're literally finding out on the go. You're learning on the go.
So it just all ties in and intertwines.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how do you think your faith has aligned you better with who you actually are as opposed to who you thought you were?
I think for me personally, my faith didn't just align me better. My faith is like a complete 360. Like who I am in God is literally the complete opposite of who I was, kind of thing. Like to the T. Like who I am in God, someone, you know, that's meant to be in a certain like media space, someone that's, you know, meant to have a voice and speak and be outspoken and all these things. And literally me 2-3 years ago, the complete opposite. Like if I could avoid socializing,
but do you know what's funny? Because you say this, but outside, like off camera, you were like this. Like you were someone you were outspoken, you were someone who would talk, etc. Who would
just as long
start conversations. As it's just they were just all off camera.
Oh yeah, just as long as it wasn't on camera, just as long as it wasn't public,
difference?
Just as long as, you know, and I think it's like even like mentally, just thinking that I'm somebody that's meant to have some kind of spotlight. That was like not my vibe. Like,
but I just think it's crazy how it's like in your perspective, you were never that type of person. But in my perspective and other people who are close to you, you've always had those character traits. It's just now shining.
I think I've definitely had those character traits, just as long as it wasn't in public.
Yeah.
That was literally it for me.
And I think even with me, I've always been in media. I think it's just evolving more in a different way. So,
and it's kind of like a reminder of what you said about faith. Like, the devil's fine, you doing your thing, just as long as you're doing it in private, just as long as it's not going to the levels it's meant to be, or the capacity, or the just as long as like if you wanna pray and go and pray, but just as long as you don't go out and do anything you're meant to do in your purpose though, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I think it's like just that little bit extra there was always that resistance.
Yeah. And someone once said, a very wise person once said, you're too broke to be unseen. And yeah, that's true. Like, why are you literally hiding?
Are you trying to call me broke?
No.
I'm trying to understand the link.
No, but just in terms of like, put yourself out there. Do like not even in terms of a camera, but let's say even going to events or networking, like just develop yourself, go out, be bold, do that's how people
I
who
think
are wealthy.
even in like regards to that, I think coming to God and coming to Christ now, I'm surrounded by a lot more Christians, but I really growing up did not have a good perspective of Christians.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the best
Yeah.
experience or outlook on them. So I was just avoid any kind of like. So it's like I've always dabbled in church here and there. Like, I'll go with my friends to like a New Year, a crossover service or like, but never anything deep, never anything where I have to build relationships, anything like that.
So you had church hurt?
Christian hurt. I wouldn't say
Christian hurt.
church hurt.
Because it wasn't a specific church.
Yeah, I had an experienced church.
Christian hurt. And do you think that kind of delayed, I guess, your progress into actually being who you're meant to be?
Definitely, because I remember when I gave my life to Christ, for the first few months, I was still watching Transformation Church online, mate. Like,
no, but Transformation Church did its thing.
It did its thing, but it was still my way of avoiding community. Like, I was still just saying I can just do me at home. And then I remember when I first stumbled upon our church, like London. I remember I was watching. It was Pastor Nicola. I was watching a live service, and I was like, if I like this service, I'll go next week. Like this, I don't think I even fell asleep, but still, I watched enough to be like, I like this service. And I went the following week. Even when I was walking in, I was thinking, God, as soon as the thing is done, I'm out. Like I'm legging it out, kind of thing. So I think even now, I think God is still healing that
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even till now, people, including myself, we need to be more involved in like the community aspect of, I guess, church and fellowship and etc.
Yeah, but I think as well, what contributes is we're in such like a bougie generation. Everyone's like too cool to talk.
But sometimes I think people are just tired or can't be bothered. They're not.
But I think it links into just being too bougie.
Maybe.
Like low key.
But in terms of me and how my faith has aligned me more, yeah, literally when I joined Light London, I don't think I've ever experienced like a church a church where people really spoke life into you. Because I used to go to a Catholic church and it was quite routine here in the West. Like it's quite routine, and don't get me wrong, I learned a lot. But in terms of like speaking into you personally as an individual and calling out your destiny, I'd never really experienced that until I went to like London. And even like prophecy, it's like, oh, this is what I'm meant to, even though it's like your spirit man already kind of knows that that's what you're meant to do.
And I do think anyway, as a family, we were already kind of exposed to the prophetic and things like that.
Yeah.
But it just, I feel like why was the prophetic always some kind of warning?
Yeah. Every time. Like something terrible was
about to happen. Take action.
Every time you're just scared.
Like
or you
sometimes can God just tell me the last
something nice?
My gosh.
So actually having that experience where someone is speaking life into you, and not just once, but like constantly. I think, I think also because what does it say in the Bible? It says faith is by hearing. So words actually impact you a lot, and when you have positive words, words that feed life into you, spoken to you consistently, it better aligns you with who you're actually meant to be.
It just calls out who you are.
Yeah. So I think community is definitely important, because if you just isolate yourself, I know some people say, oh yeah, I don't need to go to church.
It's very hard to grow, and it's very hard being your only voice. That's a very dangerous place to be in. Very dangerous.
You definitely need community to just kick out those negatives.
But I think the most important thing is you need discipleship. You need to have a covering. You need to have a voice that is bigger than yours. I think it's great that you've come to God all for the people, great, but you need to remember that it's okay to be a baby. Like, it's okay to be a baby in faith. It's okay to know that you haven't seen it all, you haven't done it all, you haven't, it's important to have a covering. If not, you're like a sheep. But imagine a sheep just being away from the rest of the herd.
Yeah.
Every wolf, all eyes are on that sheep, and it will be very difficult to protect yourself in that kind of setting.
And just to add to that, also just reading your word, because someone can speak so many things into you, and someone can prophesy to you, or someone can give a sermon and give a good word, but if there's not anything already inside of you, you may miss it and you won't catch it, and it's just another day, another sermon, another.
Definitely.
So definitely having the word in you better aligns what God has already been saying to you, and now you're hearing it from someone else. You can believe it a lot more.
And I think it's just like with what you're saying, everything works in partnership. So let's say, for example, the same way, like with the enemy, if the enemy's telling you you're ugly, but you don't believe you're ugly, that's not going to do nothing for you. The enemy has to partner with something that's already inside of you for it to do something. So the same way, if like the enemy's saying you're broke and you know you're broke, you're going to feel that you're broke even more. So it's the same thing with God. With when God speaks a word, if there's a word already inside of you, that word that God is, revealing can meet with, it's only a matter of time before that word starts to manifest.
And I think just also acting on it as well, not just like some people get a word that, they're going to be, what's that word? They're going to be a businesswoman or businessman, or they're going to be a kingdom financier? And, they're excited, they jump in, but they literally go home and do nothing the next day. Like,
you call those ones the hoarder of words.
You need to take steps into those things that are being spoken over you.
But I think it's like, again, just have your intimacy with God. You don't want to be a Moses. When his word was released, was to go and murder one Egyptian, and you've now gone ahead of your word. I think have your word, hold your word, but everything is unveiled in your intimacy with God, in the intimacy you share with God. It will show, because even, for example, like even with the show, I first got the idea of the show before I even came to Christ during COVID. I think that's when I started talking to you guys about it. But I was just like, brush, whatever. It's not for me. Then fast forward, come to like London, a word is given. The idea is already inside of me. So now the word has actually been released prophetically. That word has met something that's already been in my heart. Started it. Then what? Took a long break. And I think it's like, not that I regret starting it when I started it. I think, it was all part of God's plan. But there's an intimacy you have to walk in God to understand how everything is meant to be unveiled, and to understand that there's steps and processes to everything. It's like, if a prophet says to you now, oh, I see you one day, you're ministering in Africa. Now you've gone to pack all your bags and you've gone to Congo. Did anybody send you there to tell you to go now? So I think that's why it's important to have coverings, discipleship, community, again, because being your own voice is very dangerous.
100%.
And intimacy with God.
Yeah, but still don't be those ones that just literally do nothing, and your weeks are just repeating, and a year is gone, another year is gone, nothing has changed. So definitely step in faith, as well as I guess being obedient to what God has said. And my last question is, how do you put this into practice in terms of your faith aligning you better with who you are, and how has this benefited you?
So like, am I putting what into practice?
I guess, how are you, let me reword it. How are you overcoming imposter syndrome, and how has it benefited you?
I think for me, my motto is, anything that's in the dark, bring it to the light. So with imposter syndrome, I think the best way to tackle it is, whatever it is you're struggling with, do it. Like, whatever it is you're afraid of, start it. Whatever it is that you think is holding you back, register that business, kind of thing. I think for me personally, that's my way of tackling imposter syndrome. And I think it's about knowing that it doesn't mean that you're not scared. It doesn't mean that that fear or whatever, the anxiety isn't still there. But I think it's easier to address when it's out in the light. When you've already started it, it's okay to heal on the way. It's okay to heal during the journey. You don't have to be healed and then start. It's okay to heal as you go along.
I think a lot of people think they're battling with procrastination, but they're really just battling with the fear of themselves, or like the fear of success. And it's okay to start something and to fail, but at least you now know a way of how not to do that thing. So yeah, I think that's how I'm starting to see, or just I guess overcome imposter syndrome. And how has it benefited you? Have you seen any benefits?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, it's one of the benefits I'm here, talking in front of a camera. Like I said, you know, once upon a time, this is not something I'd even dream of doing. So I'm seeing the benefits. I'm seeing the evidence of stepping out in faith.
Yeah. I think also for me is like just knowing that it's contributing to the kingdom in a positive way. It's also, you're also receiving, like the more you do something, the more you believe, okay, I can actually do this. And you just build more confidence in that area and just do more and accomplish more.
And I think it's exciting as time goes on, things are being unveiled of who you're meant to be and who God sees you as. It's like it's an exciting journey. It's a fulfilling journey as well.
Yeah, pretty much. So we've come to the end of this episode with Alex speaking on imposter syndrome. I hope you guys took something from it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, leave any comments below of your opinions and your thoughts and how you've overcome imposter syndrome, you're currently experiencing it, and how someone else can help. Okay. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.
Bye.